Here we are with the truth about supplements as our topic today. And this is an exciting one because people want to know this. They want the shortcuts. They want the fastest route to success. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I mean, shortcuts is always the easiest way, and everyone thinks that there's a shortcut to everything. We're gonna start with the most used, the most popular shortcuts on the market right now. We're gonna tell you the truth about them, whether you like it or not, and then we're gonna go with some kind of like the ones that everyone's using, the basic ones. So let's start with the most popular, the most used. What would you say it is?
Well, I'll tell you the most effective. And the most effective is growth hormone. So, growth hormone, if you want to take it and we want to just like stack tons of muscle on you, increase your performance, recovery time, all that kind of stuff, and just jack you the fuck up, we'd shoot some growth hormone into you. You'd probably grow from 6'3" to potentially 6'6". Okay, you'd have a gap between your teeth because your jaws would grow, everything would grow. Now it's going to cost about $1,000 to $5,000 per month.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
so you're looking at
when you do the
$12,000 a year. $12,000 a year minimum to get what you need.
and you have to consistently keep using that is the question.
I think you need to get to, your body's going to grow, right? Your body's going to grow and then you stop at a certain point. But here's the thing though. Notice how these big muscles are formed. You get taller, your shoulders get bigger, but your organs also get bigger. And a lot of guys who take growth hormone have that GH gut and it looks horrible. So a long time ago, you used to have guys like Arnold Schwarzenegger with these tiny waistlines. Nowadays, they look massive in the stomach. It looks horrible. You've seen it, right?
Seen it, and that's the biggest thing with these bodybuilders. At the Olympia, it's like a huge stomach. It's just almost kind of like unpleasant. They are massive, but to what extent? How do they look in the off season?
Well, they look really bad in the off season. The other thing too is, yeah, you're bigger, but your stomach's bigger. And if you've ever seen a pro wrestler called the Iron Sheik, his stomach was massive. It looked horrible. And people don't realize that eventually, as you get a little bit older, you get into your 30s and your 40s and your 50s, and you stop lifting weights and your chest gets smaller, your shoulders get smaller. Well, your stomach doesn't. It's fully extended. Then you get some fat on your gut. And even though your gut might be hard, it's just a barrel drum. For what? I just don't get that. It costs a fortune and it looks like shit afterwards. If that's what you want, you've got the money for it, let alone the health risks, which we didn't even talk about.
And let's talk about real quick. Athletes on these growth hormones, right? They take this growth hormone. They're expecting to put on some height, some strength, some productivity. They're going to get better. They might actually get faster, but their ass is they're out of there right away. They're going to get drug tested. Everyone's going to notice the difference.
Right. A lot of Major League Baseball players actually did get caught with this kind of stuff. They went from scrawny guys hitting singles to these massive guys getting home runs. Okay, come on. Like, what do you think you're trying to get away with? Everyone knows you're taking this stuff. And the moment you get busted and banned for a year or 2 years, there goes your income.
Okay. And so what do you say to all of these guys, the next level, the next tier down, those guys that want to get big, they want to get big fast. These guys are using steroids, just straight up
desperate
steroids.
bitches. We're talking about desperate bitches, right? And we're talking about guys who take steroids. The fact is, there are athletes who take steroids. You know how I feel about steroids. I think it's pathetic. And if you're using it for recreational use to get bigger, and that's all you have going for yourself because you have no self-esteem and no guts to build a body anytime, long term. If you're one of those guys, great. Short term, you want to take that stuff, again, it's going to cost a fortune. That's the first thing. Number two, once you stop taking it, you shrink, you atrophy. That's the second thing. Number three, you might run the risk of getting something called bitch tits, which looks unbelievably bad. You're going to have that oily skin. You're going to have testicular problems. You won't be able to get it up. In a lot of cases, you're going to have roid rage. That's short term. So you can look a little more jacked. That's so one-dimensional. It's so shallow. I've never respected guys like that. Now let's talk about long-term. So here's the call out. They call this the last call out, the dead. Guys who take steroids, whether it's somewhat short-term or continuous use over a couple of years. Now think about it. There's guys who are going to take steroids for 1 year and they're going to gain 20, 30 pounds and they're going to love their look, love that commanding presence. And chances are they're going to stay with it because they're addicted. They've got nothing else going for them but that. So the last call out, you keep taking that stuff. And this is what happens. Mike Matarazzo died of heart attack, age 47. And he even said he wished he never had took the stuff. It wasn't worth it. Dan Puckett died from heart failure, age 22. Scott Klein died from kidney failure, age 30. Robert Benavente, heart attack, age 30. Trevor Smith, heart attack, age 30. Andreas Munzer, multiple organ failure, age 32. We're not talking about 50, 60. Momo Benaziza, age 33, heart failure. Danielle Sakarici, 33. Luke Wood, kidney transplant, 35. Chris Janis died of undisclosed causes, age 37. Art Atwood, heart attack, 37. Night before contest, 44. Greg Kovacs was huge, a Canadian guy, 44, heart failure. And I can go on and on. I'm just scrolling down. There's like a million names.
I mean, the point is, this is what happens when, I don't like, I hate when guys preach, oh, I'm natural, because, just do your thing and shut up. Do your thing, shut up, and show what's happening, But the point is, like, this is your health. This is, this is your looks. This is everything, you're going to get that oily skin. It is your performance. You're not going to be able to get it up, your body's going to grow with your organs, and you're facing problems, like health problems. You're done.
Really, you seen the lizard skin on a guy taking steroids? How bad it looks?
It's disgusting. I mean, you got all three things that are affecting these guys when they take steroids, yet they still think it's a good idea. So it's not just oh, you take steroids, you're a cheater. No, you're actually facing huge health problems. That's the truth about these supplements.
Exactly. And that's what we wanted to talk about. So the next level down is the stuff that are legal, that you're allowed to take. Okay, so we're talking about the fat burners, the pre-workouts, the protein powders, the creatine, the glutamine.
Borderline legal, because I know some of the supplements that you might have used. You were stressing because it could have been banned by those natural leagues, those natural contests. Some of them were banned, even the natural ones.
Had trace elements. Some of them did have trace elements. But you look at stuff like, if anything, I think something like protein powder, if you can't get enough protein through your daily eating and you want to go with something like protein powder, I'm cool with that. I think there's something to be said about eating natural food. You know how I stand on that. I don't drink a lot of protein powders, but I think there is a place for them. If you, let's say, eat 150 grams of protein, you need an additional 50, and it's just so hard to do. Or if you're on a budget and it's tight.
So what do you say to these new school guys? What do you say to these new school guys? I see it on TikTok all the time. I see it on Instagram. Even some of my buddies, man, they're like, oh, yeah, I'm huge. I'm going to the gym, right? And these guys are using creatine and pre-workout. Okay, so what do you say to these guys?
Right. You know how regimented my plan is. It is so focused. I am so dialed in that if I introduce any one supplement, I can tell if it works or not. So I've tried creatine the way you're supposed to, like totally regimented. And I found that there was no benefit, zero benefit. The drawback was my stomach had problems, digestive problems. I had a little bit of bloating. It wasn't worth it. It's cheap. Creatine's cheap. It doesn't cost a lot of money. People are going to experiment with it because they're not going to take my advice. And they're going to say, oh, I noticed something. Well, did you really notice something? Or are you just eating more and you look a little bit bigger? Yeah. No one's as controlled as I am when it comes down to this stuff. And I know if it works or not.
Brought up that was
work for me.
Something you brought up that was important the other day was, we were talking about it, and it's like, is it psychological? Someone takes creatine and they go, oh, it's working, man. It's working. I'm going to the gym every day and I'm lifting weights and it's working. Like, is the creatine working, or are you more focused on actually getting in the gym?
Got it.
Nailed it.
You nailed it.